on his take, Pauline Hanson's One Nation Chief of Staff, James Ashby. James, thanks for joining me. Jacinta Price won't be joining One Nation. Are you disappointed?
Oh, look, we never made any approaches to Jacinta to join One Nation, so no, I'm not disappointed, but it's certainly something that, look, I never say I'll close the door on anybody, despite what they say today. Jacinta still faces a pre-selection process with the Country Liberal Party, which she's a part of in the Northern Territory, and there are dark forces at play behind the scenes within the Liberal Party who don't want Jacinta there. So there's no guarantee she'll be given re-endorsement from the CLP, and she may then want to rethink the words that she's used.
I would have thought Jacinta Price would be perfect for One Nation. I mean, she said yesterday Conservatives need to restore cheap energy, bring back industry, stop mass migration, build houses instead of tower blocks, cease the indoctrination of kids in classrooms, deter China, revive national pride. She sounds, for all intents and purposes, like a One Nation politician rather than a Liberal politician at the moment.
And that's what makes Jacinta Price so important to our parliament. I'm certainly not going to take away from the importance that she has in this term of parliament, because she is very aligned with One Nation. We agree on virtually everything. The thing that Jacinta needs to consider is when she does speak up, she often gets slapped down by colleagues within her own party, as we saw during the last federal election when she said, let's make Australia great again. And she was hailed down in a shower of bullets from her own people and some within the media. She was also slapped down when it came to discussing immigration numbers from certain countries. So, look, that's for Jacinta to consider. I'm certainly not going to take anything away from how good she is as a Member of Parliament. I think the Liberal Party themselves should rethink leaving her on the backbench. I think she's got something to offer, and we need to be pulling together on the right, not trying to divide each other, because if we are to get rid of this disgraceful Labor Greens government, we have to talk positive about one another, not in a negative term. So I say all credit to Jacinta.
James, of course, the Coalition have made up today, but news poll has just come out. One Nation's primary vote now up to 27%. The Coalition have plunged to 18%, and Labor is even up by 1 point to 33%. So despite the... now, that poll, of course, is taken before the announcement today that the Coalition is back together. Good news for you, 27% primary vote is incredible. How do you think the Coalition's reconciliation will affect One Nation's popularity? Will people start to drift back to the Coalition now they've reconciled?
Look, they've got a lot to prove, not just to themselves, but to the Australian people. A marriage of convenience is not one that I would suggest is good for the Australian people. In some respects, I would have liked to have seen the National Party go their own way and be able to speak honestly and openly about the issues that impact upon many of their voters in regional Australia. The issue that we saw with your earlier interview with Michael McCormack, he failed to mention two things: immigration and the Paris Accord. Two of the very, very issues that the Australian people have had a gutful of, and it just makes me consider what is in this deal between the National Party and the Liberal Party that stops Michael McCormack from talking about those very two issues. You also hear in the background that this marriage or kiss and make up was, pardon me, there's bugs around here, I just swallowed one, but a lot of that has something to do with the fact that some of their former front bench members are going to miss payments on their properties that they've got because they can't afford to keep up with the three home loans that they've got for investment properties. Now, that's not a reason to get back together. You've got to be doing it for the right reasons, and I don't think this marriage necessarily will last as a coalition with the two leaders that they've presently got. I suspect over the next couple of weeks or couple of months, at least one of those leaders will go.
James, we've got to go to a break, but just before we do, that news poll, I'm just thinking about it while you're talking, One Nation at 27%. What's more remarkable, your 19% lead over the Coalition, or the fact that you're only 6 percentage points behind the government?
I think what we've got to take from this is the fact that we are gaining on Labor. again, I say this, the right must unite in order to defeat a Labor-Greens coalition government that is destroying Australia. A third term may very well put us on a trajectory that we, as a country, may never, ever be able to turn around. I don't want us to become the next Venezuela, the next Argentina, because it's taken a hell of a long time to be able to pull that back. And it takes too much. And in the meantime, we are stopping so much investment coming to this country. We're stopping people from having confidence in the housing market. We're allowing too many people in under this Labor government. So, look, as far as I'm concerned, the enemy here is Labor and the Greens, and they're the only ones I'm focused on right now. I'm not interested in what the coalition's going through. The rabble can stay over there. I'm focused on winning against the Labor and Greens government at this moment, and we've got 2 years as one nation to prove that we can make a difference with those policies and win government.
Absolutely. By the way, I said a 19-point lead over the coalition. It's a 9-point lead. My math not great there. James Ashby, thanks for joining me.